The forbidden vial. Ciala was not supposed to be there. The human military base was restricted to outsiders, especially aliens like her. But her curiosity had always been stronger than her fear. Her species, the Nireli, were known for their sharp senses and deep emotions. But Ciala was different. She didn't just feel, she wanted to understand. That's why, late at night when the guards changed shifts and the hallways became quiet, she slipped past the outer gate. Her small size helped her sneak inside the base through an open vent near the east wing. She had been here once before during peace meetings, but never alone, never unsupervised. She moved silently through the cold, metallic corridors, hiding behind supply crates whenever she heard a sound. The place smelled like metal, oil, and something strange, a scent she couldn't describe. It made her skin tingle. Then she saw it. A glowing red vial sat alone on a silver tray inside a small glass room. The door was slightly open, as if someone had forgotten to close it. Inside the room there were shelves lined with medical tools and strange machines humming softly. But it was the vial that pulled her attention. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, steady, and red like a dying star. Her throat was dry. She hadn't drunk anything since morning, and the vial looked like a drink container. No warning label in her language, just a human tag. X-17, for military use only. She didn't understand it. Ciala stepped inside. Her fingers trembled as she picked up the vial. It was warm, almost alive. She sniffed it. Sweet, inviting, like fruit from her homeworld. One sip, she told herself. She opened it and took a small drink. The liquid burned slightly, but it wasn't unpleasant. It rushed down her throat like fire and honey. Then she felt it, sudden heat crawling through her body. Her knees shook. Her vision blurred. What is this? She gasped, dropping the empty vial. A deep vibration started in her chest. Her heart raced faster than it ever had. Her body felt light, almost floating. But then the heat turned into something else, something deeper. Her skin tingled. Her chest felt tight. Her stomach twisted in strange waves of warmth. She collapsed to her knees, breathing hard. From down the hallway, a siren began to wail, high and sharp. Lights flashed red. Ciala tried to stand but stumbled. Her senses were exploding. Every sound, every touch, every breath felt 10 times stronger. She crawled toward the door and hid behind a storage crate just as footsteps echoed toward the lab. 2 human soldiers entered. One of them checked the tray. "It's gone," he said. "X-17. Vial is missing. Check the cameras fast," the other replied. Ciala held her breath. Her body was burning with something wild, something confusing. This wasn't just a drink, it was something powerful. Something dangerous. Her fingers clutched her chest. She felt something growing inside her. An energy she didn't understand. A need she couldn't name. She had made a terrible mistake. Meanwhile, Private Daniel was watching the security feed from his quarters. The alarm caught his attention, but something else held him there. The glimpse of movement in the lab. He saw a small figure, not human, moving fast, then gone. Was that an alien? He whispered. The system logged an intruder. Biosigns matched a Nireli female. He grabbed his gear and headed toward the storage wing. Back in the dark corner, Ciala hugged her knees, shaking. Her skin glowed faintly. She didn't know why her body reacted like this. Her thoughts were cloudy. Her body wanted something. Something it had never wanted before. And then, she heard footsteps. Closer. Heavy. A human figure appeared. "Hey, are you okay?" the man asked softly. Ciala looked up. His eyes locked with hers, and for some reason, her heart beat even faster. A mystery had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. Daniel didn't expect to find someone hiding in the supply corner, and definitely not her. The girl was curled up, shaking, glowing faintly under the flickering emergency light. Her deep violet skin glistened with sweat. Her long silver hair clung to her face. She looked fragile, scared, and something else. Something wild was in her eyes. He raised both hands slowly. "Hey, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm Daniel. You're safe now, okay?" She looked up at him with confusion, but also hunger, not for food, not for water, something more primal. Daniel stepped closer. She flinched, but didn't run. Then suddenly she reached out and touched his hand. The moment their skin connected, a shock ran through his arm. He gasped. She gasped too, but hers was more emotional, like a spark had touched her soul. Her eyes widened as if recognizing something ancient and buried. I don't know what's happening to me," she whispered in broken English. Her voice was soft, musical, but trembling. "My body, it burns." Daniel's face hardened. He looked at the half-empty vial on the floor. His military training kicked in. X-17 serum. "Oh no," he muttered. "You drank it?" She nodded, confused and scared. "That's a combat-grade stimulant," he said. "It's not for healing. It's not even for normal humans. It's made to push soldiers into a hyper-alert state, rage, adrenaline, focus. And it enhances other instincts, too." She didn't fully understand until her body trembled again. Her hand squeezed his. She leaned forward, breathing harder, her face just inches from his. Her glowing eyes locked onto his lips, then his neck, then down to his chest. Daniel backed, up slightly. Okay. Let's get you somewhere safe before this gets worse." But she didn't let go. Instead, her arms wrapped around his. "I feel strange," she said. "But not bad. I feel close to you." Daniel could see it now. The serum was working on her alien biology in unpredictable ways. Her body wasn't built for it, and it was overriding her thoughts, intensifying every emotion and sensation. If someone else found her like this, the situation could explode. He knew the base scientists would treat her like an experiment. The commander would likely order her sedated, restrained, or worse, executed for unauthorized access to human tech. He couldn't let that happen. Daniel gently took her by the shoulders. "Can you walk?" She nodded slowly, like someone drunk on stars. He guided her through a side corridor, avoiding patrols. He led her toward his private quarters. Every step she took, she stayed close. Her body temperature was rising. He could feel the heat through her clothes. And her scent, sweet and dizzying, was starting to affect him now. They reached his room. He closed the door behind them. She sat on his bed, breathing fast, trying to calm down. Her skin shimmered under the room light. "Is this what love feels like?" she asked. Daniel blinked. "No, not like this. This isn't real. It's just the serum confusing your body." "But I feel it," she said, touching her heart. "I feel something deep, something I've never felt before." Daniel looked away, his jaw tight. "It's not real. We have to fight it, or it'll take over you." But in his mind, he wasn't sure anymore. Because for the first time in his life, a pair of alien eyes were staring at him, not with fear, not with hate, but with need. Real or illusion? Whatever it was, it had just begun. Daniel had broken every rule in the book. Hiding an alien inside his quarters was a court-martial offense. But looking into Ciala's trembling eyes, he couldn't hand her over. Not now. Not like this. She sat on his bed, knees pulled to her chest, wrapped in a spare military jacket. Her skin still glowed faintly. Her breath came in soft gasps. The serum was still inside her, twisting her senses. "I hear sounds. I feel things I've never felt," she whispered. "My heartbeat. It sings." Daniel crouched beside her. "You're going through neural overload. Your body is reacting to the serum, but it's built for humans. You're not supposed to feel any of this." "But I do," she said, eyes wide. "Everything is loud, every breath, every beat, every time you look at me." She trailed off, biting her lower lip. Her cheeks now flushed a deeper violet. Daniel looked away. He couldn't deny it. Something was pulling him toward her too. Was it just the serum affecting both of them? Or something more? Before he could answer that in his mind, a loud knock came at his door. "Private Daniel," said a voice. "Security sweep. We need to check your quarters." His blood ran cold. Shiala's eyes went wide with panic. "Get under the bed," he whispered. "Now!" She obeyed, crawling under the frame just as Daniel unlocked the door. 2 armed officers entered, scanning the room. "There's a biosignature in this area. We detected it 10 minutes ago." Daniel stayed calm. "I was off duty, asleep, didn't hear anything." They moved around the room, scanning with their wrist devices. One of them looked at the bed. Daniel's heart thudded in his chest, but just before the officer bent down, a loud alarm went off from his wrist. "Another breach, Sector B." "Let's go." The officers rushed out without another word. Daniel shut the door, locked it, and collapsed against it with a sigh. Under the bed, Shiala whispered, "Was that because of me?" "Yes," Daniel said. "And if they catch you, again they won't ask questions." She slowly crawled out and sat on the floor. "I'm dangerous now, aren't I?" He looked at her. "No," he said softly. "You're not dangerous. You're just changed." Shiala stared at her hands. "I'm not myself anymore. My mind is spinning. But there's one thing I feel clearly." She stood up and walked to him. Her voice was quiet. "When I'm near you, I feel safe. My heart slows down. My body listens." Daniel backed up slightly. "It's the serum. It binds instinct to the nearest protector. That's what you're feeling. It's not love." "But what if love starts with safety?" she asked. "With trust?" Daniel had no answer. His communicator buzzed. A message flashed across it. "High alert. Alien intruder still missing. All units report immediately." He turned it off and looked at Shiala. "We don't have much time. I need to figure out how to reverse this." "You're going to fix me?" "I'm going to protect you," he replied. Outside, the base hunted a threat. Inside, Daniel was beginning to wonder if the real threat wasn't the serum, but what it was doing to both their hearts. Daniel didn't sleep that night. While Shiala rested, finally calm, he sat at his console, scanning old files, searching through secret medical archives. He wasn't just a soldier. Years ago, he was a medic in training, and right now that knowledge mattered more than his rifle. "Serum X-17, he whispered, typing fast. "Side effects. Cross-species exposure." The reports were vague. Most files were locked behind top-level clearance. But what he found chilled him. X-17 is not just a physical enhancer. It bonds to the emotional core. It targets the imprint zone of the brain. In humans, it boosts loyalty and aggression. In alien species, unknown results. Daniel looked back at Shiala. She was curled up on his bed, breathing peacefully now. Her glowing had faded a bit, but her skin still shimmered faintly like stardust. Suddenly she twitched, then whispered his name. "Daniel." He stood up. Her eyes opened, but they looked different, wider, deeper. And then she said something in perfect English. "I remember." "A forest." Daniel froze. "What?" She sat up, eyes still distant. "There were trees, tall ones. I could feel the wind. It wasn't my memory." Daniel slowly sat beside her. "Whose memory was it?" She looked straight into his eyes. "Yours?" His heart stopped for a second. "That's impossible," he said. "No," she replied calmly. "When I touched you, I felt it, a forest, a hill. You were young, you were hiding under a tree, you were crying." Daniel's blood turned cold. He had never told anyone about that memory. It was from his childhood, when he ran away from home after his parents died. No cameras, no data logs, just a boy in the wind. "Shiala, how do you know that?" "I don't know," she whispered. "But I saw it like it was mine." Daniel looked at the screen again. His eyes stopped on one line. Possible side effect. Memory leakage across neural imprints in non-human brains. This wasn't just about desire or bonding. She was absorbing pieces of him. Ciala touched her chest. I feel two hearts inside. Me now, mine, and yours. Daniel stared at her, unsure if he should feel amazed or terrified. Suddenly, Ciala clutched her head. Another one. It's coming. She gasped and began breathing fast again. Don't fight it, Daniel said, holding her steady. Just let it come. Tears formed in her eyes. Your pain. It hurts. What do you see? He asked softly. Sand, smoke, an explosion, she whispered. You lost someone. Daniel looked away. Yes. A teammate. My best friend. Ciala wiped her face, confused. Why do I feel it so strong? Like it happened to me? Daniel didn't answer. He couldn't. He looked at her again, this alien girl who had accidentally stepped into a place she didn't belong, and was now carrying pieces of his soul. The serum had done more than transform her body. It was merging their minds. He opened a secure message draft to his old medical contact. He typed quickly. Subject has developed emotional memorial imprinting. Cross-species neural bleed confirmed. Requesting immediate data on reversal methods. But before he could send it, he paused. Did he really want to reverse it? Or was this bond becoming something else? Something they were meant to share? Outside the room, soldiers continued their search for a threat. But inside, two lives were fusing in ways no one could have imagined. Ciala stood near the window, looking out at the stars. Her hands rested on the glass, her eyes calm, but her body still carried the fire of the serum. Her skin had stopped glowing, but something inside her burned brighter than ever. Behind her, Daniel sat on the edge of the bed watching her closely. She turned around slowly. There is a word in my language, she said. Eltheron. It means a bond that forms only once in a lifetime. A soul echo. Daniel frowned. You think that's what this is? I don't know, she replied softly. But ever since I touched you, I hear your thoughts before you speak. I feel your heartbeat even when you're far. Daniel stood up, trying to stay composed. It's just the serum, a reaction, not real. Ciala stepped closer. Then why do you feel it too? Daniel didn't answer. He looked away. His military training had taught him to shut down feelings. Follow orders, stay in control. But with Ciala, nothing felt controlled anymore. And it wasn't just her presence, it was everything. Her scent, her voice, the way she remembered things he had forgotten, memories he buried, now living inside her. Outside the room, the base was on high alert. Soldiers whispered about an alien thief. Rumors spread. Someone had broken into the lab, stolen military-grade fluid, and vanished. Inside the cafeteria, a group of soldiers laughed loudly. You hear about the alien girl? One said. Word is she tried to seduce a soldier to escape. Punishment. Probably worked too. Another smirked. Some guys fall for anything with soft skin. Daniel heard them. His hands clenched under the table. They didn't know it was him. They didn't know that the girl they mocked was the one who saved his broken soul. Later that night, back in his quarters, Ciala sat quietly, hugging her knees. I heard them, she whispered. They think I'm nothing. Daniel sat beside her. They're idiots, they don't understand. She looked up at him. And do you? I'm trying, he said. But I'm scared, Ciala. You're not just feeling things. You're changing. Every hour, every moment. And I don't know if I can stop it. She leaned closer, her hand brushing his chest. Then don't stop it, just be with me. He pulled back slightly. You don't get it. If command finds out, they'll separate us. They'll experiment on you. They'll erase everything we've shared. Then run with me, she whispered. Daniel blinked. What? Let's leave. Escape the base. Disappear into the stars. That's desertion, he said. I'll lose everything. My rank. My freedom. She gently touched his face. You said you wanted to protect me. But now, I see the truth. I've changed, yes, but you have changed more. You feel what I feel. You need what I need. Daniel's voice cracked. This isn't love. It's a chemical reaction. Ciala's voice was calm. Then why does it hurt when I think about losing you? The room fell silent. The stars outside blinked quietly as if listening. Daniel finally whispered, because I don't want to lose you either. At that moment, the screen on the wall lit up with a base-wide message. Unidentified alien signature confirmed. All sectors enter lockdown. Prepare for detainment protocol. They were out of time, and the choice was clear. Stay and lose everything, or run and risk it all. The alarms didn't stop. Red lights blinked across the ceiling as a robotic voice echoed through the halls. All personnel. Unauthorized alien presence confirmed. Lockdown in progress. Daniel locked his door, then turned to Ciala. She stood in the center of the room, hands trembling. Her violet eyes were glowing again, but this time with fear, not fire. They know, she said. Daniel nodded. They'll come here next. He grabbed his rifle, tossed her a spare cloak, and opened the secret hatch under the bed, an old maintenance tunnel. We can still make it out. Through the lower decks. Ciala didn't move. Instead, she whispered, I'm not running. Daniel looked at her confused. What? I can't keep hiding, she said. Not from them, not from who I've become. Daniel stepped closer. If they catch you, they won't ask questions. They'll treat you like a threat, a test subject. She looked into his eyes. Then stand with me. Ciala. I'm not the girl who snuck into a lab anymore. That girl was curious, foolish, soft. But now I feel everything. The serum didn't just change my body, it opened my heart. She took his hand, pressing it to her chest. Her heart pounded strong and steady. When I felt your memories, your pain, I saw who you really are. A soldier with a broken soul, hiding behind armor. But I also saw your strength. Daniel's voice was quiet. And now I know, she said. You don't need to fix me. You just need to choose me. He froze. The tunnel was open. Escape was right there. A path to freedom, to safety. But behind them, footsteps echoed. Heavy, armed. Daniel. This is command, came a voice through his communicator. Report immediately. We're aware the alien is with you. Do not resist. He crushed the communicator in his hand. His breath shook. If we run, we become fugitives. Ciala stepped, close. If we stay, we make a stand. Daniel looked into her glowing eyes and saw no fear, only truth. They weren't just bound by accident. They were chosen by fate. Outside, soldiers loaded weapons. Security bots rolled through corridors. Inside, Daniel wrapped his arms around her. If this is war, I fight with you. She nodded, leaning into him. I don't want a home if it's not with you, she said softly. The door lock hissed. They stepped back side by side, facing the entrance. Together, ready. The door exploded inward with a flash of blue sparks. Smoke filled the room as armed human soldiers stormed in, rifles raised, visors glowing, voices shouting, hands in the air. Daniel didn't move. Neither did Ciala. They stood side by side, unarmed but unafraid. The lead commander stepped forward, voice cold. You've violated direct orders, Private. You're harboring a dangerous alien who tampered with classified biotech. Daniel spoke calmly. She's not dangerous, she's alive, and she didn't know what the vial was. She's bonded to you now. We've seen the scans. Her brainwaves are fused with yours. If she loses control, she won't, Daniel said, stepping in front of her. Because I trust her, and she trusts me. The soldiers raised their weapons, and that's when it happened. Ciala's skin glowed again, but not with sickness. with power. A shimmering aura surrounded her body. Not fire, not energy, something older, something deep. She raised her hands, not to fight, but to shield Daniel. A wall of violet light burst out, blocking the soldier's aim. "She's activating the serum's final stage," one shouted. "Take her down." A laser blast shot forward, and Daniel stepped in front of it. The beam struck him square in the chest. He fell. "No!" Ciala screamed, her voice shaking the walls. Time stopped. Her scream wasn't just sound, it was force. A wave of energy blasted outward, knocking every soldier off their feet. The lights flickered. Gravity wobbled. Sparks rained from the ceiling. She ran to Daniel, falling beside him. His eyes fluttered open, just barely. "You took a blast meant for me," she whispered. Daniel smiled weakly. "Worth it." Tears rolled down her face. Her glowing hand pressed to his wound. "I won't let you go," she whispered. "Not now. Not when we found each other." And then, something miraculous. The serum in her blood responded. Her energy moved through her arm into his chest. The wound began to seal. The bleeding stopped. His heartbeat returned. Daniel coughed and breathed. "You did that," he said. "No," she whispered. "We did." Hours later, the chaos had settled. Base Command had no choice but to stand down. Every scan confirmed the impossible. Human and alien DNA had synchronized without fusion. Memories had transferred. Emotions had merged. It was no longer a contamination. It was a connection. Ciala was granted sanctuary. Daniel was cleared of charges on one condition. He'd be reassigned off-world. He agreed, as long as she came too. Months later, in a quiet ship flying between stars, Daniel sat with his arm around her. They watched the stars in silence. "Tung, you still feel it?" he asked. Ciala smiled. "Your memories?" "Yes." "And now?" She touched her heart. "Now they are our memories." He kissed her forehead. They had been burned by fire. But what rose from the ashes was love, bound by choice. Stronger than any serum.